Hello everybody, Defense here, and welcome back to my roots, a Minecraft series. I am doing good now. I am back from being sick. I did a little bit of stuff while I was sick. One of them is I built our path. I was tired of not having like a path, and I tried out our one we built there. If I remember to, I'll cut to my test world and show you guys what that looked like. I didn't like it, so I scrapped it. And I did our normal road, and I threw this in. I'm going to probably tweak these a little bit as we go. There's some spots we're going to add stuff, but we have to decorate them all along the edge. But I am very happy with having it all in. So we can travel on our horse, finally, all over the place here, and then all the way this way. So I set up a road heading over here. Oop, that one's actually a little tight. I'm going to adjust that one. But I'm very happy with this. I was just kind of planning stuff out and building while I was a bit under the weather. As you can probably hear, I'm still a little bunged up. But I did start to lay out some stuff in here. I did a bunch more of the cliffs and so on. But I've got some plans for over here, but this is not going to be today's episode. We are actually going to start working on the buildings in the village up here. This is going to be wood. And that's all I'm going to say about this. We'll come back and work on that another time. But aside from that, I did go around and I did collect up some dark oak and acacia trees so that I could get the saplings and a bunch of the wood going. So we've got those items there, but let me get a couple items together and get us back up top. And we're going to get ourselves started on the villager village. Short little change of plans to start. I mentioned it in the prior episodes on what we were kind of trying to figure out on what we wanted to do for the village. And I think I do want to go with standard village. I want to keep the 1.7 village there, but I don't want all the structures. So like, I don't like, well, it's not that I don't want to do like this. This one seems kind of too simple. It'll definitely be great for the space. I may do this and kind of update it, but that's the thing. I'm trying to decide, do I want to update these or do I want to just keep them the same? And I think I'm going to start with just keeping them the same. And I'm going to lay out, you know, as good a village as I can in there and kind of go from there. We're just in my test world. I don't know if I said that. Yeah, there's a bunch of buildings around testing for tree farms and stuff like that. So you'll see that stuff there. But yeah, just a couple of things kind of splattered around in here. This was started for this world. So, but yeah, I think... So, like, I like, you know, this one's a good size. This little T building's a good size. The church. So, definitely these three buildings. We are going to change up the roofs to match what we're working with a little bit more. So, we'll do this as a mix of oak and jungle, just to kind of keep it going. We'll have probably one or two little farms. A well, but I think I might go... no, we'll keep this well. We'll keep this well. So, that's pretty much what my plan is. I just wanted to kind of look it over. As I said, we are going to just put them out pretty much as is, and then we're going to look at it and decide how we feel. And honestly, looking for feedback on it, I do kind of want to update them, but I don't know for sure. I'm kind of iffy on it, so let me know in the comments down below what you think of that idea. But I think I'm going to start by putting a couple of these in. Now that we've decided and, you know, kind of just went over what we're going to do. So it's pretty much just going to be, you know, this corner of the village. The rest of it is kind of meh. So let's get started on that. And once we get some stuff together, we'll lay out some bases and we'll go from there. I built this and I don't think it fits. We're definitely going to have to change these up. It, for whatever reason, looks fine when it's kind of in its own little village. Like, when you see it naturally in the world, I feel okay with it. But now that I've got it up in here with, like, the stone brick and, you know, slabs and blocks and fences. Don't get me wrong, yeah, it's not done. It's missing its doors and its windows and all that. But it's just cobble. So, there's a couple of things I want to do to this. One, I want to change it out, but I don't want to make it all stone bricky either. So that I'm going to have to figure out. Two, I'm going to widen this on one of the sides. I think we're going to do it over here. I want to bring it out like that much farther, but behind the tower, I think. So I think we're going to go roughly here. Yeah, we'll bring this out. I don't know, maybe like that far. I'm gonna have to play around with it. The other thing, I have adjusted some of the windows, even when I was building it. There is a lot of gappage here, so I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm probably gonna put a couple of hangovers. Definitely add in some wood. I have decided that we're gonna have some wood here, and we're gonna have some wood up top. Slabs, stairs, the works. So I think I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna do a quick little bit of an update on this and kind of see how I feel about it. And then I'll show you guys just so we can get an opinion. And honestly, once I'm done with that, I think that'll be it for this building. And then we'll start working on transforming one of the other two. Okay, so one thing I keep forgetting to do is name our horse. I repeatedly keep telling myself, name tag, name the horse. We've had a couple of names dropped for us. One of them was Cloud, one of them was Dash, and then another was Spot. And out of the three, I really like Dash. So we are going to go and put our name tag in here, and hopefully this only, it costs 5. There we go. Broke a little bit of redstone to get us to the level. But as I said, I'm going to go with Dash, who was actually recommended by Cloud. I'm actually going to put a picture of their comment up here, so that we can get this done. And let's go find our horse. And finally, after much longer than I had planned, give them a name. Bonk. Hello, good friend. You are now Dash. Dash the horse. And they are pretty fast. I will admit that. They are a pretty fast horse. But now that we have our horse named, we can get back on with some building. I like it much better. Obviously, I've added a couple of things to it, but it is a majority stone brick. There is obviously some cobble detail you guys can see kind of up top there. I don't 100% like having all of these even, so I may play around with that. But I'm very happy with it. I was just grabbing the glass, so it's my first time seeing it from a distance. And coming up on this place, I think that looks really nice. Oh, I have a tree. This is probably the trees I'm going to use up here, just because I want them to be small, but I want there to be trees. And I saw this, it might have been a Whip video. I've probably seen them around a bunch of places. I've actually been watching a ton of him this past week while I've been sick. Just kind of sitting here making plans and running through. I think I'm on like episode 30 or 40 of his hardcore series right now, so it's been a blast. But yeah, we added the little room off the side. I'm not 100% happy with the termination on this side. I'm going to have to play around with it, figure out what I want to do. I tried an overhang. It doesn't look as good. I had it flat. It doesn't look very good. I trimmed the corners. It didn't look good. So any ideas, let me know there. I'm very happy with the tower. I really like the tower. I like how it came out. I think the little details with nothing and then cobble up the top does look real nice. Around the side, I'm just going to get our windows in. I did make the windows a little bigger because this one and this one are only 1 block windows up here. And that's because if I remember correctly, it steps up to the altar area in the actual villager one. So we're going to do that. Yeah, we'll keep that window. I was deciding if I wanted to keep this window or not. Because, like, if you're just sitting here... Okay, you can't actually see through it. Okay, cool. And I've shifted the door around a bunch of times, but this is now our new door spot. And then this will be for in here. I haven't put the ceiling in yet. But spruce on the floor, dark oak on the ceiling. Then we've got our tower. Not really much going on in here. I did change the front window up a little higher. I think it looks better. But yeah, there's just some spots I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know if I want to carry this around and have a little bit of a hangover here or what. I'm kind of undecided in relation to that. So we're going to have to play around with it. For now, though, I am going to put a torch right here. I did these as slabs and stairs, so this is spawn proof. This area here really is the only spawnable area. And then up top, oop, I just locked myself out. Boom, boom. Let's finish going upstairs. I did put a little full block so I could put a torch just to have some light. But yeah, these here, I may make them different, you know, just varied sizes. I like having them here, but all 4 of them makes it feel like there's supposed to be something on top. Maybe I'll put some flags off of this. You know, using some wool, you know, some like banner style flags. I might do that. We'll have to decide. Actually, I think some little blue flags would look nice up there. That's pretty much where we're at. I'm not going to do any interior decorations yet. It's going to be pretty straightforward, as I said. We're probably just going to do kind of like a little bit of an altar, you know, a little bit of a pew situation, and then little workspace up here. Right now, we don't have workstations. Those weren't a thing in 1.7, but in obviously later versions of Minecraft, they are. So we'll probably set up some of the stuff like that going forward. But I think this is, I'm 90% happy with this. I am, as I said, looking for some feedback on it. So please do give me some feedback down below. Biggest thing is I just don't know what I want to do with over here. It's just very flat. I tried windows, I tried no windows, I tried overhang, I tried no overhang. I tried dropping it down one, and it kind of looks okay, but then it kind of gets weird around this, and then it gets really bulky on the edge, so. Let me know. Any and all ideas? I do like the white windows. It makes it look like it's lit up on the inside. I do need to put some torches in on the lower levels, but that's non-spawnable, and that's non-spawnable, and then the back's already torched out, so. I started laying out another building, and it kind of was going to block our entryway, so I stopped and decided to build this instead. I like it. It is obviously not a normal village building, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think my confidence in this has kind of pushed me to want to try something a little different. And I am doing a kind of not good thing. I'm not doing any interiors. Maybe I'll come back in the future and do them. I think I might do in this one, because that'll be like my house when I'm in this area. Like if I'm up here and I need something, I'll probably just sleep in here. But I like this one so far. I've done a couple different things. I'm trying stuff out up here. So I did kind of pull in some of the builds that they did in, you know, the regular villages, where they have obviously the cobble bottom. We have the oak planks and the oak logs kind of going up like that. And then I kind of add to it. The top I changed up. I was actually sitting here. It was all oak. And I just finished building this and looked up here at our barn. And I went, you know, that's actually a really good way to do it. So I changed it out for that. I did a little bit of a roundish roof. And it's good. I wanted to keep it short, so that way the buildings here aren't blocking the view to there. Because when you come down this road and you're coming pretty much straight on through, I really don't want that blocked. I want the depth so you can see the height of the different builds going through. I think it looks pretty good so far. And now that I'm done building this, I'm going to challenge myself and do something I have never, ever done before. I'm going to try and build on the diagonal. This is something that I have never done. It has terrified me forever. And honestly, we're not doing anything crazy here, so why not give it a try? I also had no idea what I was going to put in this area aside. So I laid out a small little building here, and I'm going to give it a try and see how I like it. You know, because what's the point if I'm not going to challenge myself? You know, I think that was one of the biggest reasons I ended up changing this, and I'm very happy with it. I keep looking at it, and there's things where I'm like, I've changed out a couple of blocks up top a couple of times. I may come back through in future and add in some cracked stone brick. We can't make it right now, so the only option I have is to dig it out of the stronghold, which I don't want to do, because I want to like do an archaeological dig on that stronghold. I think that'd be something fun to do. So we're just not going to touch it. And I'm going to try and keep everything I can in there. I have already pulled a bunch of stuff from it, so I'm just going to have to not go any further with it. But yeah, again, always looking for ideas, opinions, things we can change. This is 2 separate houses. We've got an entrance there and an entrance here. We'll go back through and do our roads afterwards. But yeah, let me give this diagonal here a try. Let me know about you guys. Do you guys build on diagonals? Do you find it easy? Is it hard? Is it something you've never done before? I've seen so many people do it, and I just look at it and go, no. So this one's probably going to be very, very plain for my first ever kind of diagonal building. But I'm going to get on with it. I'm going to play around with it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like once we're done building it. I don't like it. It's definitely something I'm going to have to practice with. I cannot... So, like, trying to keep the short roof, I don't think is my problem. But I can't get the roof on the front to look fine. For whatever reason, I am okay with the back. I have no issues with the back, but the front does not look good with the doors and the roof, and I don't know why. I put in this pillar trying to break it up. I was like, I don't know, let's try something. But I tried it. It's my first diagonal building ever. And we'll play around with them. I'm going to probably, you know, watch some videos, learn how to build them. Feedback from you guys, as always. This one is very just oaky, because I wasn't going to worry too much about, you know, changing it up. This one was more focused on trying to build a diagonal building. And inside, we have a decent amount of space in here. You know, the back ended up actually boxing out real well. And I like that. That'd be a good setup for, you know, a little bit of a room. You know, if I didn't have the window there, we could put a wall and then make this a separate room from this. So all in all, I think that actually lines up real well. It's just this front I don't like. And I'm going to have to play around with it in future and see what we got. So yeah, any ideas, let me know. I may also switch it over to one door rather than two. It just felt right having two doors, but once I kept building it, it just didn't. So we officially have 3 buildings in here with mixed reviews from me. As I said, feel free to let me know down below what you all think. We're gonna have to get some trees in here. I want to do this building, and then I may actually, I know I was talking about not doing those little square buildings, but I think I might put one over here, and over here I might put in like a little farm. You know, just a little bit of croppage, wheat, potatoes, carrots, stuff like that. And one little house over here, and then we'll just have the pathway going through, and then some trees. And then it'll pretty much just be move some villagers up into here. So obviously, yeah, we're going to have more villagers than actually have space to live up here, but I'm sure they'll be fine. In 1.7.10, villagers were based on doors, not on beds. So we'll kind of see how it goes. And I can always just go into, you know, one of these rooms and just be like door, 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 and just put a bunch of doors in here. You know, and they'll see it as doors for them to, you know, grow and, you know, produce more youngins. So we'll play around with that. I just, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't 100% like it, but I don't hate it. So I think we'll have to add in some decorative bits around the area, and we'll kind of see how that all kind of lines up. So let me do that. I'm actually going to throw in some trees, because this whole section over here is done. So I think I'm going to get the path in, and then we're going to get the trees in, a little bit of grass, and then we'll really see what this little area looks like. I have had a blast with this. There's been a lot of things done in between the prior clip and this clip. I had a lot of time to build, but not a lot of time to record. So we've done a bit of work. I've moved the entrance. I think this will be better. It's a little more out of the way. It also gives me kind of a little spot to call my home while I've been in here. But this is what we are looking at. As I said, I'm very happy with it. A couple more buildings have gone in, because I think the last clip we had was me hemming and hawing over my diagonal building. It's there. That's all I'm going to say about it. I said everything I wanted to say, but I'm happy with it. I did a bunch of these little trees. I tried to keep them a little more out of the way, so they were just kind of visible. I might put a couple more in over here. But I didn't add a single other building that was originally from the village. So honestly, it's just this church with its additions and changes. And that's it. I know we were talking about it, but once I tried to build them, it just didn't feel like it fit. So we've kind of gone around. I made a little flower stall over here. I thought it'd be nice. Adds a little bit of extra color in, and just kind of gives the villagers somewhere to be. This one here, obviously, we laid it out with the same pattern initially as one of the villager buildings. But I changed it up, and I'm 90% happy with it. It does seem very flat. It still seems very flat. That's why I added this porch. I think that helped. But it is kind of a cross between the buildings and the smithy that they have in there. So yeah, it's a little flat, but I think it works. I like it. And honestly, we're really only ever going to come up here again to trade with our villagers. So I did set up some farms. I remembered after searching through every chest I had, we still don't have a potato. So when we do go and get our villagers from out in the world, we are definitely going to have to pick up a potato. And kind of add that in. There are no interiors right now. I'm not an interiors person. I think I talked about that before when we were doing that little house over there. I'm going to come back through and kind of polish this off. I think either between this episode and next or during a live stream at some point. Just because I don't want to focus on that too much. You know, I've tried some new stuff. We've done a lot of work and I really want to get the villagers in here. So that's really where we are at with it. But as I said, I'm pretty happy with it. We got some trees. We've only got one bush. I couldn't find really good spots to put bushes. We did fill this out really nicely, in my opinion. I think it's pretty solidly filled out. I'll put a couple more of these little trees in. I varied the heights and number of branches. So I over-torched. It happens. But one of my favorite ways to look at this place is from higher up, and you get to see a lot more from up here, and especially at night, you know, being able to look out and see everything. And really where there's light is where we've done work, and I'm pretty happy with it. We will have to go through and add some hidden lights. That's really why I haven't gone nuts with it. I just don't want a ton of just random torch spam, which is what I tried to limit on here, so there's no torches on the ground. And that's really what we did up here. I actually really like this view. Let's get a little bit of a screenshot. But yeah, I love looking at things from up here, especially now that we've got our road, we've got our home, our portal. This world is filling out. We'll probably, after we finish with the village, I've got some projects planned for over here. We're definitely going to get started on. And then I don't know next. We've got so many little things that I want to get done and just so many projects, but our biggest issue right now is resources. So after we're done with this, we're probably going to start doing some resource-related buildings to kind of get some stuff going. Pop. Yeah, I don't know if I showed this bow off. Power 4, Unbreaking 3, Infinity 1. I got that from the Skelly farm, if I remember correctly. There we go. I don't think I lost any. Nope, there's one whole stack. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. So again, I'm looking for opinions, ideas, inputs. I'm going to be bringing back something from a prior series on this. It's going to be kind of fun. It was I don't want to say stupid joke, but it was a joke among me and some others on a series we did together. And they'll definitely be coming back, and it involves a church. So if you've been around long enough, you may get the reference. And if you know what it is, throw it in the comments down below. But yeah, I think this is where we are going to wrap it up. I still need to fix my skin. I am just a head with a shadow body. I also need armor. I'm wearing 3/4 of a chest plate. But yeah, as I was saying, thank you a ton for stopping in. Please do let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. And as always, I hope you have a nice night, day, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is Defense. I hope to see you again soon. Peace.